What's good, everyone? It's Afro. I'm Mo. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're gonna go ahead and break down SZA's I Hate You in Logic Pro. This one is 80 beats per minute and is recorded in G minor. And the producers on this one is Sir Dylan, Thank God for Cody, Rob, Bisel, and Carter Lang. We're gonna start off with the main keyboard sound that you hear in this track that sort of loops itself throughout the entire track. It's a 4-chord progression and it sounds like this. So for that sound, I went ahead and used Logic's Bright Suitcase preset over here, found under Vintage Electric Piano. Layered with that sound, I went ahead and added in a pad. Same chords, and that is using Logic's Classic Pad preset found under Synthesizer, Classics, and Classic Pad. Next up, we have this Pluck Sound right over here. For the sound, I use pretty much the default setting that loads up in Logic's Retro Synth. For this one here, I pulled the oscillator to oscillator 2. I'm only using a triangle oscillator. And if you just copy these settings, this is the sound that you get. It's sort of like this plucky bell type of sound. Next up, we have that crazy lead that kicks off the track. Now for that sound, once again, I use an instance of Logic's Retro Synth. This time I started off with the preset found under Synthesizer, Classics, and it is called 80s Starlight. And then next up we have the bass sound. So for the bass, once again, I pulled up an instance of Logic's Retro Synth. I pulled up the classic analog bass. It sort of got me to where I want to as much as it could. And then I went ahead and adjusted some things. I don't quite remember what I adjusted, but these are the settings for this bass right here. And just to give it a little bit of space, I added in another instance of Logic Space Design over here, just to give it some reverb and sort of fill out the bottom end of the track a little bit more. And then finally, we have the drums. And for this, I'm using Logic's built-in or stock drum kit, the Roland CR78. And usually with SZA drums, it's pretty straightforward and it's pretty much the same pattern throughout the track. So this is what it sounds like on its own. So starting off with the kick, this is the pattern right over here. Just 2 hits. And then we have the snare over here. Then we have a rim shot. Then we have a hi-hat. Then we have an open hat. Now, one thing for the kick, I just want to mention here, I tuned it over to the key of the track. So G minor is the key of the song. So I just tuned the kick to a G as well, just so that it's hitting on that root note. Moving along in the track to the next section, we get this. So for this keyboard section, I added in another pad section just to fill it out and make it a little bit fuller and thicker for this section. This is what it sounds like on its own, the same chords. All together, you'll see what it sounds like without it. Without, you kind of miss it. It really fills out that low mid-range and it just gives it a nice texture to it. For that sound, I went ahead and used Logic's Alchemy. And the preset can be found under pads, analog, and it's called analog smooth right over here. I just added in a little bit of EQ to take out some of the bass because it was sort of conflicting with the bass signal and the kick as well. So took that out just to clean that up a bit. And then we have these two sort of stabby type of sounds on the ones. So here's the first sound over here. Using Logic's Retro Synth, I pulled up the Detune Strings preset over here, and that's pretty much it. For the second sound over here, I am using, once again, Logic's Retro Synth, and I'm using the Slow Swell Brass preset, and just adjusted the filter envelope over here just to make it open the way I wanted it to. Love that sound. And then we have like this lead sound right over here. Like a buzzy sound. It's happening more in the background, but it's there. And for this, once again, pulled up Logic's Retro Synth. I just used the default setting because I know I want to use a sawtooth oscillator for this. And I really just pulled up the attack so that it's like a slow build up to give you that buzzy type of sound. Moving on to the next section, we get another melody pattern. So for that, once again, I pulled up Logic's Retro Synth over here. And this preset pretty much sounds like the one in the track itself. The preset is called Synthesize Voice. It can be found under Synth Leads, Synthesize Voice. And to give that sound a little bit more space, I went ahead and pulled up an instance of Logic Space Designer. For this reverb, I pulled down the dry mix all the way, so there's no dry signal in here. It's just all wet signal. And it just let it sit nicely in the mix as I wanted it to, as I tried to match the mix as best I can to the original track. Moving on into the next section over here, once again, we get another lead sort of section. Sort of like this plucky synth bass sound. For that, once again, Logic's Retro Synth. Anytime you want that classic analog sound, just use Logic's Retro Synth. It has everything you need. And for this, I used the marimba preset. Didn't really adjust anything here other than adding in a little bit of chorus. And I pulled up the reverb as well on here, just a touch, just to give it a little bit more space as well. There is one thing I want to point out at the end of the track. There's sort of like this tape stop effect in there. So to get that tape stop slow down effect, for that I went to my master track. I pulled up an instance of the remix effects over here. If you use the stop button right over here, it's like the tape stop effect. So I just automated that at the end of the track. But other than that, that's pretty much the breakdown to the entire track. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. And listen to SZA's I Hate You, remade in Logic Pro from start to finish. Let's go. All right, that right there is SZA's I Hate You remade in Logic Pro. For you Logic users out there, I will go ahead and save this entire session for you guys, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm gonna go ahead and export all the mini stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit used in this remake. You can find that entire playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go and talk in the comment section below. But on that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.